Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of Infinitode 2. So welcome to the second episode of the Tower Guide series, where I'm gonna just take a look at every single tower and I'm gonna try to explain to you how they work, the main strengths to weaknesses, and we're gonna also take a look at research. So I'm gonna do right now the second tower that you unlock in the game, that is gonna be the Sniper Tower. So let's jump right away into a gameplay in-game just to show you the tower, and I think it's gonna be easier to understand how it works. So first of all, let's take a look at the general stats. So the game here description is gonna be great damage to a single target, high range, but slow reloading. And once again, if we take a look at these 5 different stats, we can see that out of 5, the sniper is gonna have maximum range and then maximum damage. So 5 out of 5, but then very low attack speed, only 1, and then crowd damage 1, so the ability to do damage to multiple enemies, and then agility also 1. If we take a look at the efficiency against enemies, we can see that the sniper is going to do 50% more damage to strong and constructor enemies. It's going to do the normal amount of damage to regular, healers, armored, and bosses. And it's gonna do 50% of damage to Venom enemies, and then lastly, it's gonna only do 25% of damage to fast, icy, and light enemies. Once again, the sniper does not have the ability to attack flying enemies, so you can see that here is 0. So first of all, let's take a look at the cost. You can see that compared to the basic tower, the sniper is gonna be more expensive. Of course, here I have research maxed. The normal research max, and therefore this cost is lower than the cost where you don't have research. But anyway, if we can compare these costs, you can see that it's more expensive. The first thing that really you can see is the huge range. Compared to the basic tower, you can see how small this range is and how large the sniper range is. Now, if we place the tower, we can take a look more specifically about each of the stats, and at the special stats, and then at the abilities. Now, once again, we can see the huge range, and then the damage. So the base damage is 91.9. So if we just compare it to the basic tower, we can see that here the damage is 14.6, and they both have the equal starting stats. So it's just that's much higher. Then we can see that the other stats are going to be, of course, attack speed, all right? Then rotation speed, and then we find a unique stat that is aiming speed. Now, if we just place a basic tower, you can see that here there is projectile speed, but the sniper has aiming speed, and that is because the sniper is going to do instant damage to the tower. So there will not be a delay between from when the sniper shoots and when it's going to hit the enemy. So the damage is instantaneous, but this aiming speed works like this. So I'm gonna try to show it to you. So we take a look here at the tower. See, the enemies here are getting closer to the range, and now you can see that when they get in range, the sniper is gonna start rotating. So that's gonna be rotation speed. You can see here rotating it, and then when the sniper is with the correct angle of rotation, you're gonna see 2 lines. Here we go, these 2 lines right here. This is the aiming speed. So you can see that is a percentage per second. So how much time is going to require for the sniper to aim and then to hit the enemy. Here we go. So that was the first hit. You can see that the damage is instantaneous. There isn't delay. So there isn't a projectile speed. There is just this aiming speed. And yeah, so that's the unique thing about snipers. So I'm gonna just reset now. And therefore having this, this aiming speed that is gonna compromise how much time the sniper is gonna take to attack. So it's not just attack speed, but it's also aiming speed. Then we find here the special stats that are the yellow ones. So crit chance and then crit multiplier. Once again, all these numbers here are being boosted because of research. And in this case, well, crit chance is having a chance of having a crit. Now crit, the base damage of a crit attack is going to be, I think, 200% damage, so it deals like double damage. But then you can further increase it with research. And then as the tower levels up passively, you're gonna get more and more and more crit multiplier. So both these stats, like every stat is going to increase as the tower just levels up passively, other than range. Then again, we have the enemy's efficiency, and then we have the abilities. Now, the first ability is going to be penetrating bullets. So the attacks in this case of the sniper are going to be able to get through, and they're going to be able to do damage to the enemy behind the one hit. Now, this percentage of damage is going to depend on research. As you can see right here, I have 70%, but at the beginning it's lower. And then if you get more research, it can be increased, I think, up to like 90% or something like that. It's just insane. Then second ability, heavy weapons, just boosting up the damage. Once again, the exact amount of extra damage that you get depends on research. Then third ability is going to be long barrel. In this case, just increasing the range. Now, this is an ability that I don't recommend to get because of the fact that you can see that the sniper range is already pretty huge. And don't forget that as you upgrade the tower, you gain even more range. So getting this ability, like in 99% of times, is just bad. So don't get it. It's just better to go with these other two. So level 4 and level 7 unlock always penetrating bullets and then heavy weapons. Then level 10 we have kill shot. In this case, this ability works pretty weird because like every 4 attacks, so every 4 kills, sorry. So every 4 enemies that the sniper kills, the next enemy that is lower a certain threshold of their HP is going to be instant killed. So it's going to be like one shot. And it's going to, of course, apply to every single enemy other than bosses. And yeah, so that's pretty much how it works. So it's a percentage of HP. So this ability is pretty good for the late game. And then level 20, you can see that you can once again choose between the ultimate and 10% more power. Let's just remind that power increases every stat other than range and the special stats. So you can see here what changes appear. And then the ultimate ability is going to work like this. When the enemies are close to the maximum range of the sniper, so when they like enter the sniper's range, they're going to be receiving more damage. In this case, it's 51% more damage. Then as they get closer and closer to the sniper, this extra damage decreases to normal. But then the enemies that are killed with a critical hit closer than 2 tiles, and you can see that this is 1 tile, this is 2. So all the enemies that are going to be at least in this area around the sniper, right? They will explode with a certain percentage of their maximum HP. That again can be boosted with research. So, but this, in order for this exploding attack to proc, you need to kill the enemies closer to 2 tiles around the sniper and with a critical hit. So you need 2 things to happen at the same time. And that's how the ultimate works. So without further ado, and I was gonna just explain other things, I'm gonna just try to get the sniper to level up so that I can show you how the different abilities work. And now, considering the fact that this tower has a pretty good damage, pretty high damage, pretty high range, the best spot to place it is closer to the end of the map. So placing a sniper like right here, very close, is gonna mean that the sniper is gonna keep on like rotating. It's gonna need more time to aim, and therefore you're gonna end up losing a lot of its potential damage. So in my opinion, it's just better to place the snipers, closer to the end, and especially try to find a certain spot from where you can attack the enemies and you can always damage the enemies behind. So you can exploit this extra penetration damage. So for example, these 3 spots I think are the best ones. And even these ones, even though they are a little bit further away from the map, you can see that you can still have somehow a pretty good penetration. You can do more damage. So I would say also these spots can be good for snipers. And because of that, normally getting a sniper in strong targeting can be good, especially if you are going with basic towers or you're going with other towers. Normally having the sniper to focus the strongest enemies, considering the huge base range, it's in my opinion just the easiest way. The main strengths and weaknesses of this tower. Well, first of all is the fact that other than against strong enemies and like a little bit regular, this tower really doesn't shine against the fast enemies, and therefore you're gonna always need a tower that can do damage to those enemies, because you already only do 25%. And then considering the fact that they're very quick, you can you have aiming speed, you have very low attack speed, you're gonna end up not doing enough damage to those fast enemies. And then also icy enemies, venom enemies, light enemies are always gonna be a pain with this tower. And now this tower efficiency, I would say that on easier levels, so for example in this case there are only regular and strong enemies, so this tower is pretty good. But then as we progress through the game and there are more and more enemies from the portals, maybe some flying enemies as well, and some other types of enemies, I would say that this tower is not really that great, despite the fact that the range can become very huge. You can see here how large the range is. But despite that, I would say that this tower can be good for the early levels, but then as you unlock other towers, it's always best to just use those other towers, because this tower is just falls off. Considering the attack speed, the very low also crowd damage, so the fact that you cannot really damage multiple enemies other than just two. So if you have this, you can damage one enemy and then one more, and then that's it. So for the late game, when the enemies are getting more and more and more HP, yes, of course you can exploit this to one-shot them. You can also use your ultimate, that in this case I'm gonna get, so that maybe in some waves I can just show how it works. But definitely it's a tower that for the late game and for some more complicated levels it's gonna just falls off, and it's gonna just be bad. So I would say you can use this tower for the early levels, but then as you unlock other towers, I would recommend you to not max this tower and just focus on using and spending your resources on other towers. As it is for the upgrades, you could see before that the upgrades are quite expensive, so it's not so easy to upgrade it. Like opposite to the basic tower, where all the upgrades are very, very cheap. The sniper, especially the last like 3 or 4 upgrades, are gonna be more than 1,000 cash. So yeah, you're gonna need a lot of coins, a lot of cash to be able to get those last upgrades. And now here already you can see sometimes kill shot happening. When the sniper can kill 4 enemies, then the 4th one is gonna be with a kill shot. And you can see here the words. Then let's see here if I can show, yeah, maybe here I can show the explosion because of the ultimate. Let's see. Because you need a crit and you need the enemies to be closer than 2 tiles. And maybe already some enemies exploded. I didn't even realize. So let's see again here, because it's very hard to see the explosion, because the explosion should be doing damage around the enemies. But yeah, it should be working. It should be working like that. Let's see now. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, but yeah, it should be working. Should be working like that. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to see, the explosion happening, but it should be proccing. Every time you see that an enemy exploding and doing damage to the enemies around it, that's when the ultimate is working. And remember, of course, that you need a crit for it to work. So it depends on the crit. It's not just killing the enemy. You also need to kill it, and you need to have a critical hit. Oh, okay, that was the explosion. I don't know if you guys were able to see it, but that was the explosion, because I was able to damage that other enemies like that. So I would say that was the explosion. I don't know if you guys were able to see it, but let's see maybe again here. Because sometimes I don't see. I don't know if it's the explosion, if it's just the damage from the sniper. But yeah, I hope that you guys were able to see the tower in in game, you know, live. Of course, as I said before, I have the normal research maxed, but yeah, I hope that you were able to get an idea out of this tower. And then if we go to the research, you can see that once again, as it happened for the basic tower, it's the same. You can increase every single stat, you know, with this. Even the special stats can be increased. And then down here, you can find the abilities. So once again, we have the 3 abilities, a level 4 and a level 7. Then we have a level 10 ability. And then we have the ultimate. So every single you know, stat can be increased. And if we go into endless research, you're gonna see that you actually get 2 extra things, especially for the abilities you can get. You have here kills interval, so you're gonna be able to proc the kill shot with less kills. So rather than having 4 kills, you're gonna need 3. And I think you can get this up to level 3, so you can, like, every kill you can proc then kill shot, so it's pretty good. And then down here we have another unique stat to the endless research. There's going to be, in this case, the maximum range with the ultimate. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think this one just increases the range of the sniper. So the when you unlock the ultimate, the sniper is going to gain even more range. I think that's how it works. And yeah, that's it. Of course, in endless, every other research can be further boosted because the levels are going to be much higher. So of course, that's the usual. And yeah, that's it. So I hope that you guys were able to understand a little bit more this tower, and see ya. Bye bye.